Your spiritual awakening and the connection you do every single day into your intuition can actually be pretty mundane. It can look very similar day to day, and it can make you feel as though you are not advancing along, or you're blocked, or you're missing something. But I can guarantee you that is not what is happening. And actually, it's a good sign that you're experiencing it in this way. Today, I want to talk to you about why that is and how people can get caught in the trap of thinking that it means that something is wrong, and how we can really switch our narrative to really settle ourselves into this becoming a part of our identity, a part of our lifestyle, and not just looking for what I call a spiritual high from our spiritual connection. If you're new here, my name is Layla Taylor. This is Stop Trying to Be Spiritual. This is a show all about connecting to your intuition, channeling your spirit guides, developing your psychic abilities, doing that in a way of which you bridge that with your shadow work, inner child, and your embodiment practice so that you become the vessel, the channel through which your soul lead and guide you so it can change your life. I was just on a call with a client, and she was like, I've been sitting every day in connection to my spirit guides, and I wonder if they're even there, because when I'm asking the questions of like, what is it that I most need to know? I'm just getting like very similar answers. I'm not really getting anything different. And when I first was starting, I felt a lot of energy, and now I'm not feeling so much. So I'm wondering, am I blocked? And she took this as her being blocked. And so is there some actual shifts that we need to make in her energy in regards to how she was asking questions, how she was calling in spirit? Yes. Me and her talked about that, and we worked on that. But here's the thing. There was nothing actually wrong. Days of sitting down, you set the intention to stay within your heart, connecting to your intuition, your guides, whatever it is. And then you hear the same statement of like love. Like, what do I most need to know? Love. And you're like, oh my gosh, okay. And you're just kind of sitting there and you're like, gosh, I'm not getting anything else. I must be blocked. Something must be wrong. When I first connected in, I saw all of these lights, or my body was having these huge waves. I'm not feeling it anymore. And what I really said is spiritual practice is mundane about 57 out of 60 days. So if you do like sit every single day in connection to spirit, and let's just do a rough estimate of like 60 days of doing this, okay? In 3 out of those 60 days, you might get this like unique flavor. Okay, meaning you might sit down and then all of a sudden one of those days you're like pulled through this like 4K imagery where it's this immersive experience, and you're seeing all these images, and you're pulled into a past life in the Byzantine Empire, and you're just like watching, you're like, wow, so great. Another one of those days, it could be you sit down and then all of a sudden you're having these waves of energy move through you in a way that is just so intense. And you're like, that's great. One of those days you may sit down and you may feel like, oh, I just felt like I felt my loved one come in, or I heard my spirit guide. I actually heard them this time. Beautiful. What we unconsciously do is we make that mean that we did something right in that. I got it right. I earned my coins, my coffers to receive that experience. And if only I'm good enough, and if only I meditate, and only I'm pure enough and worthy enough, maybe I can experience that more. Wrong. You are not supposed to be leaving yourself. You are not supposed to be having these huge divine revelations every single day. That, for one, that is unsuitable for the energetics of the body. It's unsuitable for you, because then what's also happening is you're running what I call and chasing a spiritual high, which a lot of people are doing. They're just not aware that they're doing. I did. You're chasing a spiritual high of, I need to feel something intensely so I feel as though I can trust it. I can feel as though I've been chosen. I can feel as though I'm being guided, when really you've already been being guided. You just haven't been listening to it. But we exchange these mystical experiences as being what status quo is. And so every time you have one of these like real intense experiences, these mystical experiences, or where you feel like really immersed and like spirit couldn't wait to like talk to you, right? While you have that experience, say of that visual, like I said, of being pulled through the past life, you are receiving this sense of like energetic download as well. that if you're a feeler and you're aware of how it feels to get a download, you would know. It doesn't matter though if you're aware or not, because it's happening regardless. But what we have to understand is the level of which spirit is coming in. A part of you is energetically unfolding within yourself. You're having more awareness of your soul, your spirit. It's becoming more present online. That's kind of like what a download does. Unlocks a different frequency within you. That's having to interact with the very dense physical body and experience. That takes time to integrate and to understand and to allow your body to adjust to it. And so if you have these experiences every day, you would probably be in the loony bin. Truly. That's where I see people go into even spiritual psychosis. What they're experiencing is an overload of spirit energy and or mental energy connected to spirit energy. And they're experiencing a reality that is so ungrounded that it is unhealthy for them, for either their mental state, their psyche, their body. You think you want it all the time, but you can't. You have to understand that when it comes, it's coming at that specific right moment, not because you earned any goodness or worthiness, or not because spirit was like, you were so good with your chores the last 2 weeks. We're going to give you a quarter and you get to get, a candy at the concession stand. That's not how spirit works. That's not how your guides work. It's not a like a system of like give and like bartering, of earning. It was your energy was perfectly aligned in that moment. There's astrology to go into it. Many different reasons why that happened at that exact time. And the thing is you really can't create it. You just have to sit every day. Okay, let me just go into my own intuition. Let me go into my own body. And when all of a sudden you have those 3 out of those 60 days where maybe you have a mystical experience, you're like, oh, cool. Hey, man, I think of Matthew McConaughey when I'm like, yeah, all right. Yeah, this is cool. I'm not going to pin it to anything other than let me just be open to the experience. Let me just be open and not have to figure out why did I get this at this time. I know there's a divine reason and a plan. And so the spiritual practice is quite mundane. That's what actually knocks a lot of people out of doing it, is they don't even know that they're chasing some sort of spiritual high, some sort of validation from it. And that's okay. Just be aware of the fact that that is something I desire, that is something I'm seeking to heal and mend. And can I become more curious of why that pattern is showing up in my life? How is it showing up in my life? Where am I playing into it? What would it look like to transmute that pattern? I have found that people who have addictive personalities can very much get stuck into this kind of experience as well. Addicted to feelings, chasing some sort of high, whether that be in our education and scholarly, I got to get more degrees. I got to get more of this. I got to get more educated. In our spirituality, I gotta kill the ego even more. I gotta have greater experiences. I gotta raise my kundalini. I gotta go to this retreat and take ayahuasca, and I gotta open and activate. Or it's drugs, or it's alcohol, or it's food, or it's your body and it's exercise. You don't even know, because sometimes I'm addicted to the validation. I'm addicted to the needing of someone to see me so I can see myself. So I'm chasing that. And it's all or nothing approach. It's like I'm in it. I got it. I'm fully immersed. Or I'm like, I haven't meditated in 3 weeks. That's what will happen to people, because your practice of going more within yourself to open up your psychic abilities isn't so that you just become more psychic. It's not so that you have this power and we're now Doctor Strange and we're doing all of these amazing things. It's so that you can become more fully human, more fully present, to become more aware of the illusions that we have been given and accepted. Your abilities is to go more within yourself, not to leave out. And so the fact that you're disturbed by the fact that you're not receiving more, of a light show, be curious. Interesting. What is it that I'm actually seeking here? When I speak and I say you and I utilize these words like that. You can a lot of times think I'm shooting an arrow and I'm shooting it at you, but I want you to understand the reason why I have the bow and the reason why I have the arrow is because it's of my own making. I only speak that which I understand myself and experience. So I'm not just speaking to you, I'm speaking to you of what needs to be overcome. What not even and not overcome in a conquering way, but I need to become aware and open. What is the lesson here? What is the gift? There's wisdom there. There's wisdom. There's a gift in your overcompensation, in your need to constantly be validated, in your desire for the spiritual high. There's a gift if we truly look at it and investigate it. And to again, yet we don't need that constant hit of intensity. What we're actually wanting to do is we want our connection to our guides, to spirit, to be so finely ingrained and attuned to our own body. It's just a slightly different frequency I move into, but I'm not like getting rocked back and in a trance state. It's deeply already who I am. I've merged. I brought that more into my present awareness. My body has accustomed to it. That's why if you have an energy healing, you have something where there's a practice of like, healing and transmuting energy, your body's going to feel it. You're going to need to rest. It's going to be like, God, I'm exhausted. I got to lay down. I was sick. That's because the body is holding the energy of what we've been holding for all of these years. And even that, I'm talking about karma. I'm talking about ancestral lineage, so that when you bring in that energy download, that freshness, that new awareness, your body has to adjust. It's got to release. And while I said it's like 3 out of the 60 days, that's like a random number that I kind of just chose. There'll be some times where I'll have experiences day by day by day, like a couple of days in a row. And then I'll go a couple of weeks and it'll just be, I'm still channeling guides. I'm still doing readings. I'm still, having all of that. But it's not this like, okay, I sat down and I meditated, my eyes rolled back, and I received all this information. That's good. That's how it should be. Now, what I said I needed to do with that client was to say, well, how are you asking questions? What kind of questions are you asking? How are you calling in the energy? What intentions are you setting? How are you calling in your guides? Do you know their energetic signature? Do you know their frequency? That's also something we needed to work on, because intention matters. But I more wanted to talk to you today about how easy it is to get caught into the desire of the spiritual high and the chasing of that and equating that to worthiness, or if you should even continue. And the true prize is to the person who can sit every single day and go, it's just an honor to be with myself. I'm just in pure gratitude to be in my own experience. And if something wants to come through, meaning my soul, if some energetic download wants to come through, a new state of awareness that I will have to feel more physically, I'm open to that. But I'm just as excited to connect into myself. And then if that sounds like, ugh, that's not very interesting, be curious. Why? Why do you find yourself so skippable, so annoying? I know, as a Virgo moon, I've been so annoyed with myself my entire life. You want to skip over yourself? No. That's not going to help you here. You need to go deeper into compassion. Go deeper into compassion to become curious, so that when we are gifted, what feels like a gift, those experiences, we don't put it as a gold star on the wall. We just open wider to more of our own energy. Thank you. Beautiful. This is perfectly aligned, Spirit. Dropped it in at this time. Wonderful. Wonderful. How do you know if you received a download? I kind of said my eyes rolling back. That's often how I receive. And when it's happened, if like people are around me, it can be kind of interesting. I sit down, I go, and it's already there too. My head is going back, my eyes are rolling back, and I'm getting visions. I'm hearing. My guides are coming in. They're talking very loudly, being very clear about something. And I just breathe. I hold the energy. I don't try to stop the contraction. I don't try to stop my head going backwards. I just leave it. That's how I receive. Or I just close my eyes and I start just seeing visuals. All of a sudden, my guides pull in front of me. I'm having all this energy and color and light moving all around me. It's a very intense experience because I see spirit, not only within my mind's eye, but out physically. And I recede through the body very intensely. For you, it could be different. But you probably know where all of a sudden you've just had this huge insight come in, or all of a sudden these visuals happen and it makes sense, okay? I'm not meaning like you close your eyes at night and you see like random people looking at you. That's you kind of reading the psychic field or really just your mind doing a brain dump at the end. It can be a couple of different things here. I'm talking about where you feel the energy come in. For me, I have a hard time sleeping afterwards. When I get an energetic download, it'll take, I might not sleep the whole night. There's only so much you can shift out of that, but I digress. Hopefully this gave you some insight of where you may be correlating the intensity of experience. I always call it the Moses in the burning bush moment, where God spoke to Moses, like, Moses, take off your shoes, for where you stand is holy, and this bush is burning. And you're like, oh man, if I could just have something like this, if the angels could lift me up, if I could just create that, then I would trust. There is no creation of it. Moses didn't know. He was like following, what is that, a sheep? Like, and he didn't ask for it. It just found him at the right time, at the right place. And to have faith that the downloads that you're needing, that the energy that is supposed to be coming in supporting you, regardless of how intensely you experience it, is aligned for you, especially if you're setting the intention, that which bring more of my soul and spirit into my conscious awareness, make me more present in my experience of it. And the door will open when it's the right time, but you can't curate it and you can't judge it. Make sure that you have created the space, though, to receive it. You know, I create that space every day by sitting in meditation, just open, being ready, setting the intention. If you're not doing that every single day and or frequently, that is a choice that room through which spirit can speak consistently, it's not going to be as active. Of course, we can all have like those random, like I go to sleep, I haven't really been meditating, and then I receive something, of course. But if you want to have more of a curated experience where you're setting the intention that this is what you desire, create that space within yourself every day. And I'm not just waiting on spirit, like maybe today they'll put on the magic show. No. Every single day I'm connecting into myself. And if for some reason a different frequency wants to come in because it's the right time, perfect. I'm already here. I'm already in the place of my own internal chapel, my own place of worship. I'm here within my own heart. It's very easy to meet me there. All right. Again, hopefully this gave you something to think about. I read all the comments you put. I've had so many people find me on Instagram and TikTok. And so my handle is at Laila, LAILA.L.Taylor. You'll have the little blue check too. Well, on Instagram, not on TikTok. And say they found me from the podcast. Book a session with me. Look into mentorship if you're looking to go one-on-one and really developing your spiritual abilities and understanding how you connect into spirit, and wanting to be guided and mentored through this, because this is a deeply transformational experience and it can be very confusing. So if you're interested, look into my services down below. Share this with anyone that you think would receive something from this. And until next time, stop trying to be spiritual.